Hey, Slick Talkers, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. And I know that if you love this show, you'll also love my morning show called Good Morning Hospitality with my co hosts Michael Golden and Brandy Canali, as we spend 30 minutes every Monday morning to dive into the industry's top latest news and trending topics. So go check it out on wherever you find your podcasts at Good Morning Hospitality. And you can live stream with us on Monday mornings on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Now, I hope you enjoy this episode.
Especially with a lot of information online not being relevant at the moment, as a hotel, having that, your own content and your own platform to offer guests is something that is, just a necessity for hotels at the moment. And I think, it happened in so many industries, but just the step forward that it's taking in terms of the guest experience is so important. I mean, I think one of the advantages, to be honest, is that there's also an operational need, and there's also the need, to become more efficient as a hotel and increase revenue and profitability. And, having everything digitized is just allowing you to do that.
Welcome to Slicktalk, the hospitality podcast where we discuss all things hospitality, hotels, and business. You can find us online at slicktalkthepodcast.com and on every podcast listening platform.
Thank you to our newest partner, Cleaning Certification by VR Scheduler, for supporting Slicktalk. Cleaning Certification makes it easy to learn new cleaning protocols with online, self-paced courses in English and Spanish. Increase guest trust and occupancy with Cleaning Certification. You can use my promo code SlickTalk20 for 20% off. So look, I'm in the National Guard, I've been on orders, and I got called up for the COVID-19 response in Washington State. I've known some of these tips and practices on how to properly use the protective equipment. One of my biggest things that we've had to teach and learn for all of our new guys that have never done this stuff is something so simple like changing gloves the proper way. And in this course, you will get the right instructions on how to properly remove gloves and stop the spread of cross-contamination. And these tips and tricks through this course are definitely needed in this time of COVID-19. I'm guaranteeing you, when I went through the course, that I learned a few new things that I was able to apply to our test sites here in Washington, and it's really helped us a lot. One of the main reasons why I think you guys should get this course and the badge is because this course is super quick and affordable. It's only $20 per course, and if you use my promo code SlickTalk20 for 20% off, it's like $16. So pretty dang good deal. And the badge has actually helped increase occupancy and reduce the customer service questions of what methods and protocols you follow in order to keep your property at the standard to help protect any guests against COVID-19 and the spread of other germs. So again, like I said, this is an amazing course. Check it out. You'll find the link in the description of the episode. Now, back to the show.
He's kind of like the Joe Rogan of the hospitality industry right now.
This actually was scheduled to be recorded the day that pretty much the United States just shut down for COVID-19. So we had to reschedule and postpone. And now here we are 3 months later. And I have the pleasure to interview Sapphire, who is with the Wishbox team. And if any listeners don't know what Wishbox is, you're about to find out, and you're going to be in for a good surprise. So Sapphire, thank you for joining me on the show. It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad that we're finally able to do this,
Thank you so much. Well, it's my pleasure.
So let's jump right into the meat of the episode and figure out who is Sapphire. What did you do prior to being on the Wishbox team, and then what got you into Wishbox?
So I come from the hospitality business, and most of us at Wishbox do. I started, I managed marketing for a hostel chain, and then I moved on to consult on different marketing aspects for boutique hotels as well. And I was looking for a solution for hotels to be able to collect details from guests and kind of improve the communication before they arrive, because it seemed a bit disconnected. A lot of the reservations for hotels came from different, OTAs, and felt like the hotel needs to get into, providing the experience and kind of expanding that experience online as well. And I was looking for a solution that would help a hotel I was consulting for do that. And I came across Wishbox. I loved the solution, and I contacted David, who is one of the founders and the CEO, and we got talking, and the rest is history.
Well, that's pretty amazing. You found a solution and then found yourself now working for the solution, which is awesome. Let's explain what Wishbox is, and then how did Wishbox become what it is today?
Sure. So Wishbox is a guest experience platform. What we do, we allow hotels, vacation rentals, and hospitality providers in general to digitize their guest experience. So it means we offer different solutions throughout the guest journey, essentially to communicate better with guests from the moment the booking is confirmed until checkout. And what we do, we connect to the property management system, to the PMS. So it's quick and easy. We have the integrations to over 60 PMSs. We have all the room and reservation details, and that way we're able to communicate with guests in the perfect time, offer different solutions, contactless check-in, a guest app which is web-based, offering different upsells to generate more revenue and optimize reviews towards the end of the stay. So it's a really wholesome solution for the entire guest communication.
And yeah, so that's what it basically is. It's just guest experience, guest basically based is all it is.
Exactly. It's 100% thought through the guest facing design. The key thing is we're white labeled, so everything would be with the hotel branding. We know how important it is for hotels to communicate their branding and establish that relationship with their guests, which a lot of times is lacking. So it's one of the very important things. We also know how a language can often be a barrier, so we auto translate everything to the guest native language, which is really helpful for the communication. And of course, the key is engagement, right? Getting the guests engaged with the hotel and the contents. So we're completely web-based, so guests don't need to register or download anything to get to the guest app or complete the online check-in. It's very easy
Wow.
for them. And a bit about the background and the founding moments. So we have three founders, which is David Mizuman, Jeremy Atlan, and Shai Bal, and they come from the hospitality industry as well. They managed a large vacation rental company, and we're also trying to solve a lot of the issues with guest communication and upselling, becoming more profitable, and so they just founded Wishbox in order to solve a lot of the issues that they were facing with firsthand. And I think that's one of the things that really make the Wishbox very thorough, because we all personally came across these challenges.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's my experience in the hotel world, with all the OTAs that guests can book through, Booking.com, Expedia, and all the other portals and channels through those OTAs. A lot of the times guests actually think they're booking with you, but they're not. And they're booking through an OTA. And then there's a lot of miscommunication that can happen, because when things are labeled differently or worded differently on other platforms, such as OTAs, the guest definitely can misunderstand some information, or maybe the information won't be accurate. And that was a big issue that we experienced in my time with hotels. But so you've explained what it does and how it helps, but how does Wishbox help the hotel or vacation rental companies work less on the tasks that can be automated? So obviously, like you said, this is a communication platform. It's all guest-based and web-based. But how does this kind of help free up time? Because I know we spend a lot of time as operators and and professionals really doing the tedious tasks that can be done in automated fashion.
Yeah, and it's also very timely because at the moment there's so many places who are looking to just become more efficient. Maybe the occupancy rate to begin with isn't what it was, and just the need for that has increased tremendously. So I'm going to start with the fact that there's a lot of repetitive tasks involved in guest communication, and there's definitely the need in becoming more efficient. So what Wishbox does, it allows the hotel to collect all the details you need, for example, for check-in before arrival, and includes anything you can think of, whether it's collecting payment, document scans, offering the room upgrade, and then, if security deposits, signing the terms and conditions, and everything, like I said, goes directly to the PMS. So that's a lot of, bureaucracy, a lot of paperwork, a lot of, cues in the check-in that no one
Yeah.
likes, that are, completely gone because it's all automated and the hotel gets it even before the guest even, stepped foot at that hotel. So that's right there, a lot of the repetitive tasks that go. For vacation rentals, it's even increasingly so because I think vacation rentals are more used to having contactless communication with guests because they don't necessarily have a reception, and just that fact increases the importance of digital communication because having all the information available for guests in advance on their phone is more important when they don't have a reception desk to come to. So just having all the coordination process, when to check in, when to arrive, how to get there, all the details, the information is accessible before, because the way it works is, before check-in, we're completely customizable, so there's a lot that can be determined by the hotel, of course, but a few days before, the guests would get a message like, hey, just before you arrive, a few important details to complete, and then they would complete all the details that the hotel needs to know, and of course, that will be sent automatically to the hotel. And after that, the guest will be redirected to the guest app where they have all the information they need. And so this whole process completely improves the communication, and it's unnecessary to have a lot of the simple and repetitive tasks that whether the reception or the team had to go through. Another very important part is that it reduces questions because guests have all the information accessible on their phone. They don't approach the reception as much with questions. They see the recommendations, they see the content, they're able to book it, and it's just so much more easier on the hotel team as well.
I couldn't agree more. And so with the so when you're saying fully automated, and I know this is I understand this, but I want to make sure to clarify for the listeners. When it's integrated into the PMS, so it automatically knows your inventory. Let's say you're at a hotel with 80 rooms, and it knows that you have a 30% occupancy. This guest that is in a 1 queen room non-view wants to upgrade to a 2 king room river or ocean view. It will be able to automate and make sure that the inventory is properly there before upselling.
Exactly. So it's based on the live availability. So it'll only offer offers that are relevant. And yes, while, checking in online, the guest will be able to, see upgrade offers, and will be actually, able to very easily change. And it's something that's also very valuable at the moment. I feel like guests really appreciate having additional extra private space at the moment, whether it's a balcony, or even a private area for themselves. So it's something that is very valuable at the moment. But I'll give you another example. It's one of my favorite features regarding automation is our smart early check-in. So we give the option to offer guests an early check-in automatically based on live availability. So we know how difficult it is for hotels to offer an early check-in. With the operations and maintenance, it does require, a lot of operation management. So we have the option to offer an early check-in only if the room is already available the night before. So it's the same occupancy rate, and you're just generating more revenue from it because the room is already available. It's so much easy to offer an early check-in to guests, and it will automatically offer it if that's the case. And also, guests really appreciate it because a lot of times, the check-in time just doesn't correlate with the rest of the trip itinerary. So
Yeah. No, I love that. And because I experienced that so much. And it's so hard to offer early check-in because sometimes, even though you maybe only had 5 rooms that were clean the night before, people get there, those 5 rooms get taken. Now people are still trying to get in early, and all your rooms are dirty. And there's a lot of communication internally with the team, getting those rooms ready with housekeeping and making sure that, everything's inspected properly to the proper standard before letting the guests walk in and finding like a missed item or a sock was there or whatever, that, like random things that weren't double checked off. So I love that. I think it's really smart and pretty innovative, or what's the word? Innovative, I think is the word. Yeah, there we go. I'll edit that part out. Obviously, did not edit that part out because I want to be authentic and just checking to make sure you guys are paying attention. So back to the show. So prior to COVID-19 and post COVID-19, so the beginning of COVID-19 happening, everyone kind of having that panic mode to where we are now. What impact have you seen Wishbox play in the guest experience and the overall guest and staff safety?
So that's a really important question because, to be honest, before COVID-19, I feel like the more advanced and modern hotels, the more forward-thinking hotels, were very interested in Wishbox because they realized, the potential, the importance of having the direct communication. Because overall, the hotel, they offer more than just a bed. They want to offer an experience. And Wishbox allows them to do that because you can really make all the experience accessible online, which is what guests are looking for. You can have, the guest app with local recommendations. You can have all that. And that was, a really big bonus for the guest experience, for the hotel branding, and also obviously upselling is of major importance. And I think post COVID-19, this became the standard. Also, the ability to have an online check-in and collect all the details in advance, which if before it was a really good guest experience, now it's just mandatory because hotels wouldn't want to they wouldn't want their guests to stand in line crowded in a lobby. It's just not something that would be acceptable nowadays. So it just just elevated the experience to a new level. And the check-in in itself is just one example, but having the ability to book everything and very easily communicate with guests. For example, we integrate with WhatsApp, and you can send SMSs and just the ability to broadcast to all in-house guests or just inform them and very easily communicate with them, allow them to book just different activities online, and have everything is something that is just standard today, especially with a lot of information online not being relevant at the moment. As a hotel, having that your own content and your own platform to offer guests is something that is just a necessity for hotels at the moment. And I think it happened in so many industries, but just just the step forward that it's taking in terms of the guest experience is so important. I mean, I think one of the advantages to be honest, is that there's also an operational need, and there's also the need, to become more efficient as a hotel and
Mhm.
increase revenue and profitability. And having everything digitized is just allowing you to do that. Because, for example, one of the advantages of our room upgrade feature is that guests engage with these offers as part of their online check-in process. So it's something that is very natural. It's something that's very timely. You're not just randomly throwing emails and offers at guests. You're doing it at at the right time when they're in the right state of mind,
Mhm.
which is very important. And when you have something that is automated, it allows you to do that in the perfect way.
Yeah.
um, and I think that hotels are realizing it now. um, no one wants to have pamphlets in the rooms. No one wants to touch that paper. You have your phone. You want to have it accessible at your own phone. Even if you need to kind of schedule breakfast, you can do that through the app. You don't need to go to reception. You want something, you can chat with the hotel instantly through the guest app. You don't need to call or use the phone. You're very dependent. And also, it's an advantage to the hotel, to be honest, because they have their own their very own platform to communicate with guests, and it leaves a stronger impression and a stronger guest experience, really. So it's kind of a bundle of all these things that COVID-19 accelerated, I would say, in that sense.
I couldn't agree more, and I love that you just said that, because I'm a firm believer that in hospitality we are people. Like, we want to connect with people no matter what. So that's why I love hotels and like vacation rentals, because we have the opportunity to be independent, contactless, smart, and innovative, and all the other things. But we also have the opportunity to really provide an awesome experience in person, over the phone. Like, there's so many ways to do it. And with that, I just know hotels, for the most part, there's like a new age of hoteliers being born, I think, through the last few years leading up to where we are today, because so many hotels in the past are not, they just never adapted, or they never adapted fast enough. Now they're way, 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 way behind. And it's going to take a lot of growing pains in order to get to where the industry, that new standard of automation and contactless, and just kind of creating that in state of mind moment to get upsell. Because with my personal experience, we had a staff members, we made games and goals and all these things to get upsells and upgrades and all these other things, but it was never the right time. You could always tell it felt pushed. It felt sometimes not the right moment. Guests are traveling for who knows how long to get there. They're checking in, and now you're trying to get more money out of them, in a sense that they probably kind of feel that a little bit. They're a little frustrated, tired, traveled with the angry kids in the back of the car or whatever. And so, you have that perfect moment, like you said, as they're checking in, that kind of gives that opportunity to say, hey, this is a great room, but this is going to be better. And then, so I was going to lead into the next question with this, though. With that being said, it also probably cuts down into labor costs, if I'm not, mistaken, because now you don't have to have a full-time staff. And like I said, I love the human-to-human connection. I always think we're going to need that in this industry. If we lose that, we're no longer hospitality. But with that being said, like, you're having less staff work, so that's cutting back into labor costs, which you're also increasing now your revenue because you're not spending as much.
Yeah, it's true. And it's definitely a big time saver, and a big time saver for the team.
Yeah.
Of course, like you said, there's so much value in having, a personal welcome and a warm welcome when you come into hotel, if that's your style and what your guests are looking for, then of course it's important. But also keeping in mind that guests are it want to have the information available for them
Yeah.
in advance. And while they're maybe happy to ask a question or two, it's still a matter of service, because today, when you come in, you still stand in line. It's very old-fashioned in a sense. You need to, sign a form or scan something, and it just seems irrelevant. So having, that efficiency is something that is just it really upgrades the experience. Of course, it's a lot safer at the moment, and you can always still have someone personally welcome guests upon arrival, but just make it in a much more pleasant way, and allow to avoid unnecessary wait, crowd, or physical contact. That's just 100% part of the deal for sure.
Yeah. Well, and so this is I think a good topic for you, especially because I'm a firm believer in branding and the power of a solid brand having an impact on company revenue, profitability, and you with your marketing background, obviously when you consult for hotels and other things like that, brand is a powerful key to what we do. And so with Wishbox being, white labeled, does Wishbox push the guests towards booking direct? So being white labeled allows the hotel to show off their brand, but for, like, let's say after the guest checks out, or even in the middle of their stay, is that this platform opening up to the direct option?
Definitely, it does so in so many ways. To start with, the situation at the moment is that guests go online. Let's say they want to go to a destination. They go to a different OTA. They look up different hotels. They book a hotel. They stay there, and no matter how amazing their experience is, chances are next time they need to go to the same destination, they'll go to the same OTA and look up a hotel. So that's something that is kind of, a disadvantage to hotels. And by leaving a better mark and having a stronger communication with guests, you're able to increase, direct bookings and have, this strong brand where guests actually look for your brand when going to a specific destination. So that's one of the things that's key. And the key is to start with that communication, because if you're not communicating with their guests, even before they arrive, then you're not doing anything to increase direct bookings, really. Of course, you can, increase marketing and do a lot of, competitive online, online activity, but the core is to make sure that the guests that are already staying with you, they remember your name and know your brand. So they're also able to recommend you forward. And so Wishbox really allows you to do that, because starting up front, the very basic, every guest, even a guest that booked from an OTA, would get a direct contact from you with your hotel branding and your hotel logo, welcoming you, in your own language, and with hotel imagery. And that's just the very basic of it. The first thing we collect in the online check-in is the direct contact details. You can ask us if they want to opt in marketing as part of the online check-in, and kind of create a stronger base for your customers. So that's just the very beginning of it. And just having, I think, an important part to also remember is that as travelers, I'm sure you can relate as a traveler yourself, you really want to have that local personal experience. You want to feel like the recommendations are honest, and that's something that the hotel has the power to do, because the guest booked with a specific hotel for a certain reason. So the hotel is probably the best qualified to recommend, relevant activities and kind of control the guest experience, because the guest booked the hotel for a reason. So even having, the ability to recommend things to guests. For example, in Wishbox, you can connect third-party suppliers. So you can offer not only services you can offer in your hotel, you can offer destination services, or familiarize your neighborhood and really make an experience out of it. So that's just another way that the communication and connection to the guests is increased. So it's not only having the ability to connect with them, it's not only having their contact details and being able to opt them into your marketing, but it's also the ability to actually present them with your world, and everything that's around that. So that's just a whole package of communication that at the moment hotels aren't really using.
I love that you just said that, because this is like my biggest topic that I just love going in on out, because I believe in the term, destination air is a word that I've created, and the definition is really people that are wired to create remarkable experiences that are anticipated and shared. And by doing that, you involve everything. So back in the day, we have travel agents, and we still do have travel agents today, but the travel agents really have the connections. They know the community, they know the destination well enough to give you the top-notch experience that you want. And I feel like that's what we need to do as an industry with our properties. With my hotel staff, I would hire a front desk agent if they weren't from town or weren't from the area. I would like, here's a list of all of my favorite places and then some of the staff's favorite places. Go check them out on your own time. Get to know, so-and-so, the owner or the manager or whatever, and, just familiarize what you like and what you recommend, because guests always are going to be looking for that. Excuse me. They're always going to be looking for that personal touch of, this is my favorite place to get coffee. Me and my son or daughter go down here on every Sunday and we have ice cream, or we do this. And it's a cool way to not only build that human-to-human connection, but then that adds on top to their experience, because they are there for a specific reason. Like you said, you are the destination. So being a destination, you get to create this remarkable, just overall, I don't know, there's probably a better word, but experience is the only word I can really think of. So I love that you just said that. I think that's a huge key factor for, especially in today's world where a lot of things are shut down. This is where we get to be creative. And I would love to, if you have stories on hotels or vacation rentals that are doing this, please do share. But with everything being closed down all the time, I think, getting creative and finding out what specifically is open, like creating a unique trip, I guess, out of it, and finding a way to still offer some value to your guests, because like I said prior to our interview, things are opening and closing off and on, and we're always having to adjust every 5 minutes, it feels like. So being able to be on top of that and then offer, like I said, value to your guest trip is pretty important, especially right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said earlier, it's seen in so many industries, but COVID-19 really accelerated development and change. And I think in this case, it's one of the instances where, a lot of tech is needed in order to improve that communication. And like you said, also, things change. So the ability to kind of customize your experience and connect to a different in destination activities also allows hotel to become a lot more dynamic, adjust, if 1 minute they need to adjust to a different market, maybe a local market at the moment, or very soon need to adjust to different circumstances, then it gives the hotel just the flexibility of offering different things, which is so important. And I mean, creating new revenue streams is also very significant at the moment. There's a lot of solutions that are necessary, and I mean, beyond keeping guests safe and allowing that distancing that is needed, it's just utilizing a tool that allows you to become more profitable as a business. So I think it's a very strong advantage that hotels are starting to realize and take advantage of, and it's I think it's mostly because customers really expect more. I think they I mean, we've all experienced how convenient things can be when they're accessible online. there's no need to wait and have things done, in old-fashioned ways, and just efficiency and safety at the moment is key, but they're leading to so much more other positive things in the industry, which ultimately is a great thing.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Well, I think that kind of helps conclude our episode. I would love to see, do you have any final thoughts or shout outs, or even maybe a little shameless plug that audience members can really, get to dive in more with Wishbox and everything that you guys do?
So I mean, at the moment, we even created, a guide for hoteliers or hospitality providers, with all the tools that are most necessary at the moment, and how they can utilize them. So the guide is on our website. And they're more than welcome to, download it for free and go through all the options they have. We make sure to keep things customizable because we know, every property, every hotel works differently. They may want to, send things differently or communicate with guests in different times. Some hotels work with, key providers to offer contactless, door opens. Some don't do that. And, every hotel have, their own standards and way they operate. So I think the guide is just including, all the capabilities, but it's just a great way to, see what can be done and, get inspired really.
Yeah, no, it'll maybe spark an idea that could change your whole operation. So that's awesome. Well, perfect. I will include everything in the show notes as well for all the podcast listeners. So everybody, if you are listening right now, make sure you check out wishbox.co. And also there will be more links in the description below. Thank you, Sapphire, for being on the show. And I really, really appreciate you guys and all that you're doing, especially in these times of COVID-19.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening. We love your support and want to provide the best we can to all our listeners. So please find us online, social media, and on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast.
All right, Slick Talkers, you've heard the word and term Destination Air multiple times throughout the show and on any social media platforms, plus a couple articles I've shared. This is your time to nominate yourself or somebody you know that is worthy of the Destination Air Award. I've created this award to showcase the best of the best in the industry that maybe never get the spotlight they deserve. You can follow the link in the description below of this episode and make sure to vote and share your favorite Destination Airs around the world. Thank you for tuning in to Slick Talk. What's up, everybody? If you've gotten this far into the episode of Slick Talk, the Hospitality Podcast, then you are amazing, and thank you so much for tuning in. We want to send you two places really quickly. If you can, check out the show notes and click the hospitality.fm link. Check out all of our other shows on the podcast network. And don't forget, if you have someone that you want to hear on the podcast, then fill out the guest fill out form so that way we can get them on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy another episode of Slick Talk, the Hospitality Podcast.